So always I used to say, the importance of sword, you will have it. The importance of a needle, you will have it. Importance of a kitchen knife, it will have it. So you should know where to use what. So when we need to use throw and throw, so this is one of the most important question. So usually the people will ask you that, hey, what is the difference between throw, throws, and throwable? So you should know the basic differences and the basic implementations of this one. See, try, everyone easily can understand. Try catch. And finally also you can understand. But where you need to logically understand the things is this throws and throws. How to use it, where to use it. So this is the basic differences which you need to know. So you can follow either this key point or you can follow this geek of geeks. So there you can have this particular differences between these both. So first of all, point of use. The point of use, this talks about where to use this particular thing. Where to use. Now, throw keyword will be inside a function. So now once again I'm saying it, I'm explaining the differences. At the same point of time, by explanation of this particular differences, you should understand that where exactly we are trying to use it. So throw keyword will be used inside the function. So we know that we are throw and the class name will be having it. Why I asked Rajalakshmi to stop is she created her own classes of exceptions, because you means in the development. So probably we may not use this one very vigorously in our automation, but still in the development they will create the custom errors. Custom errors means from the tool, means for an example from Java you might have certain exceptions. Apart from that particular exceptions, you wanted to release your own exceptions. So when you wanted to release your own exceptions, then we're using it with the custom exceptions or the user defined exceptions. Means this is your own. So for example, now Java exceptions would be entire world can know this particular things, and this is common. But user defined or custom exceptions, this is for specific project, and for the which you are developing it, for that you'll be having these particular exceptions, and these exceptions will not work in any other projects. See, when we go and create in the framework, usually we will be doing this one. But as of now, everyone using the same thing rather than creating the custom exceptions and all. So I'll keep this one as a out of box because it is not really required as of now. Because you'll create your own classes, your own exceptions, and calling those own exceptions. These things will be there. So these are not really required for our level now. Now, what it would be better to understand as of now is, so just you need to know normal what are the exceptions you'll be having it and how to use them, and how we need to use this particular try, catch, finally, throw, throws. Because many of the places you will be encountering it. Majority of the people, see now here also I'm saying it, 80% of the people would be using this particular three things only: try, catch, and then try, catch, and finally. And very rarely the people will be try to use this particular throw and throws. But the power of these two things, if you understand, this can help you a lot. So you people are, see, once again I'm saying it, you people are not practicing it. Until unless you vigorously practice, then you will understand what are the challenges and the things you'll be getting the advantages. So now this part I'll leave it, because already we have been discussed for the last 2 days. And this part, it would be this will be a little bit advanced topic. So custom exceptions, user defined exceptions, that you don't do that as of now. First you should know what are the existing exceptions and how to use that existing exceptions only you'll try to understand. Now coming back to throw and throws. So it is, the throw is very simple. So now it inside a particular function. So now you have been written a particular method, or inside the catch blocks, wherever you wanted to explicitly throw an exception, explicitly throw an a custom exception or custom message. See, because in the previous messages, so this is default by Java, it will gives that particular messages. But here this is custom message. See, I'm once again understand, custom classes are different, custom messages are different. Messages means in a particular arithmetic class, I'm giving my own error message. So this is what custom message. So which we are trying to do it on it. custom message. So now in this particular throws, we'll be using the custom messages. And for throws, we can use the custom classes also, but we are not taking that particular custom classes. So we are just using only the custom messages, not the custom classes. So with this particular throw, you can define your own exceptions with this particular throw. Okay, we will discuss about this throws later. So first of all, we will discuss about this throw only. So now with this particular throw, we can define our own exception classes, and we can define our own exception messages. Classes, as this is a little bit advanced, we will be not talking it. Messages, we can make the changes. Okay. So now this particular throw would be used inside the method, not outside the method. So inside a particular method, a catch block, or wherever. So you need to understand that this flower braces to this flower braces of any particular method. So inside that one only will be using on this one. And it is used when it requires to throw an exception logically. So when we will be throwing this one is, so at certain point of time, you need to throw the logical error message. Based upon this particular error message, you'll take a decision. See, can you tell me a particular real-time scenario where we can throw this particular logical error message? According to this, I'll be taking it up. For an example, um, probably I will take some. There is a button. Okay, there is a start button. Okay, once I click this particular start button, after 10 to 15 seconds, this button will change into stop button. Say the button name, when you are clicking this, it is a start. So when after 10 means after I clicking this one, so when I click this, and when I have means after 10 to 15 seconds, it will be changed into stop button. So now what I'll try to do is I'll click the start button, and after 10-15 seconds, it should change into stop. If it is not trying to get changed into the stop button, then I'll throw this particular error message that, hey, this particular button is not changed to stop. So throw an exception and go for the next click the next button. So that is how I'll be writing a logic. See, now actually this usage is really very rare. For the development purposes, it would be used, but from the automation point of view, we will not use it. But why we need to learn, why we are, you may ask, hey, if you are not using from the automation point of view, why then we need to learn? It is for purely from the interview point of view. Or if you are implementing at a framework level, then only we will be understanding this throw and throws. But why I'm trying to explain this particular throws concept is, it's purely based for an interview purpose. They'll be asking us, because this is most frequently asked question. If you don't understand this one, so definitely this would be not possible to answer there. So what it will try to do is, based upon logically, it will check that, and wantedly it will throw an error message, and it continues with the further steps of execution. It continues with the further steps of execution. See, always you need to remember why we use the exception handlings. When we have an interruption, so it need to, when we have an interruption, so it need to bypass that particular interruption, and then it should go away. So means it is need to handle that particular interruption. So now that is where it was happening is, it is not happen, means from the start to stop it didn't happen. So now what we do is, logically we throw this error message and inform that you to click the next time. Once again, you need to click the start button. So that information it will pass it, and then it will proceed further with the continuation of this one. So this is how this particular throws button would be implemented. So step number one, so throws will have custom classes and custom messages. So not throws, throw. Throw will have custom classes and custom message. Throw will be implemented inside a particular method or wherever it required. And throw would be explicitly throws when we wanted to throw an error message logically. So this is how this particular throw would be used. Now, coming to throws, where the point we'll be using it. Throw keyword will be used in the signature. So now you have been seeing it, right? So whenever we wanted to use throws, you would be using at the method signature. Now this is what our method, right? In this particular signature, we'll be using it. Throws, what type of exceptions you are expecting. See now, for example, there are bunch of lines. For all the bunch of lines, this particular throws will work. Means if any of these particular exception, for any of these particular lines code, if you have any issue, this will be throwing this particular class exception. See here, directly we given the parent. Rather than giving the parent, see for an example now, you are writing multiple methods. For example, one particular method, you are working on arrays. One method you are working on arithmetic operations, and one method you are working on any particular object creation or anything. Now for this particular method, you would be defining the exception of array out of bound of index, and for this one arithmetic, and for this one you can give the null pointer. So now for this particular specific method, there might go wrong with the arithmetic operations, and this might go with the array operations, and this may go wrong with object issues. So that's the reason specifically you are throwing that particular thing, so that see now in the try catch block, what it will happen, this will try for specific set of lines, not for all lines of code, and the catch block, where it failed, it will jump into that. But now here what it will do is it takes the scope of complete method. So that is where the differences comes from the try and then this particular throws. So these are the minute differences you need to understand. So what exactly this try catch will do and what exactly this particular throws does. So that is what it was defined at a, you need to understand that this is defined at a method signature level. And it is used when function have some statements can lead to the exceptions. Now I told you, right? So you feel that some of the statements, means in this particular method, some of the statements may go wrong. So this is the precautionary step which you'll be taking it. See now, this is throw is a forced step. When it goes to the exception, throw this exception. But this is a precautionary step you are taking it. Any of the lines may go wrong, then you throw this particular exception. And always you remember, when you calling this particular throws method, this can't be called isolated. Directly you can't call this method. Either you should add this one into the try catch block, or in the main method you need to once again declare this particular exception. So what it means to say is, when a particular method defined with the throws class, so that method when you are calling it, so for that particular method, either you need to define, means surround that in a safer way with a try catch block, or it should be, means in the same main method it should be added with this particular exception. So directly you can't call this particular defined throws classes. So this is another important class when you're accessing them. Okay, so throws would be defined at a method level. And why we are defining this at a method signature level? Because we wanted to know that some of the lines of that particular method may go exception. So that's the reason we'll be using this particular exception keywords. Okay, next one. So here, exception thrown. So now we are using this particular throw and throws and exceptions thrown. So when it will throw the exception for us, when and how it will be throwing. So now this is what the most important thing. So now previously I asked Divya, hey, can you tell me, Divya, how means what is the importance of that? So this is where you need to know how it is throwing that particular exception, what mechanism it follows. So this is important pointer which you need to understand. Now, throw keyword is used to throw an exception explicitly. So that we have been already understand, and it can throw only one exception at a time. You see, this is the bigger differences between these both. So what it will happen is, it is pretty simple. Now, whenever we wanted, means we know, okay, in this particular throw, we know that here we are going to throw an exception. So wantedly we are doing it. Wantedly we are doing this. Just give me 1 second. I'm sorry. Okay. So now if you see here, when we use this particular throws, so uh, sorry, I'm just distracted. We are talking about on this particular throws, right? Okay. So throw would be explicitly, means wantedly we are throwing this particular exception. And once we have been thrown this particular exception, so only one particular exception will be thrown. See, now for an example, you are writing it. So here you'll be writing with a new keyword, with the constructor, and then that particular error message you'll be throwing it. Right? So wantedly you can throw only one particular exception. So now if you wanted to write another exception here, it will not consider. So this will come as what error message it will throw here?
Unreachable.
Unreachable code. So it will end in this particular statement only. It will not take any other further steps over here. No further exceptions would be taken care here. So here, what this will happen is, so always can throw only a single exception, and this can be thrown explicitly. Wantedly, we will be throwing this one. Now coming back to the throws. Throws can throw multiple exceptions. Means it may say that, hey, it will get IO exception, or it may get arithmetic exception. Means because there are a lot of lines of code, right? For this particular lots of lines of code, either this error may occur, either this error may occur, or either this may error occur. So always remember that throw can be declared multiple exceptions by comma separated. So now if you see here, for example, now you have the exception, right? So usually you shouldn't take the parent directly. So now here I'll be writing the children. So IO exceptions, comma, and arithmetic exceptions, comma, and then array out of index range, comma. So like this, you can give that particular list of things as a comma separated, and then I'll be giving on this one. So this is how this would be executed. So in throw, I'll be having, it can process only single exception, but whereas in throws, it can take multiple exceptions. So whichever exception occurs, if it is matched with the declared ones, it will thrown automatically then. So now out of 3-4 exceptions which we have been given, so which exception occurs first? Either it occurs with the uh, this arithmetic exception, or array out of index exception. So when it throws, according to that, it will throw that particular respective exception over there. So this is how this particular exception would be thrown. So now still you might be having a confusion. Hey, now I'm able to understand the differences. So now throw and throws, I'm understanding it. But where exactly I need to use the throws? You can hold on for some more time. So in our explanation itself, you'll be getting it. So now, as of now, you need to know that where and how it is using it. So this particular throw and throws, that is what you need to understand on this one. Second, the third one, syntax point of view. So syntax, throw keyword includes the instance of the exception to be thrown. Syntax wise, throw keywords followed by the instance of a variable. And syntax of the throws includes the class name of the exception thrown, and the syntax wise throws keyword will be followed by the exception class name. See, now we seen this syntax, right? So how we will be using it? Throw, new keyword, and yesterday also we have been already discussed this. This is constructor of that particular class. So you can give default constructor, or you can give the parameterized constructor for this one. So this is how this particular exception can be thrown. So this is how the syntax was defined for this one. And when it comes to throws, it defines in the method signature, and then it will be taking this particular class names. So you can have comma separated class names, and with this particular class names, you can implement that. Okay, so that is from the syntax way. And this is the most important step we need to understand. Propagation of the exceptions. Throw keyword cannot propagate the checked exceptions. It only uses to propagate the unchecked exceptions that are not checked using the throw keywords. So now you need to understand one thing. Throw keyword will means when you're using the exceptions will not take care of the compile time exceptions. See, this is making meaningful, right? Now you just understand. Wantedly, I'm throwing an exception. If it is identified in the compile time itself, the program can't execute it, right? So when you're doing something wantedly, that particular point of time, it can't be means it shouldn't be identified at the first point of time. So that is the reason it can't be used in the checked exceptions. It can be used only for unchecked exceptions. Right? So this particular things can be used for unchecked exceptions. Now, when it comes to the throws can be propagated the checked exceptions only. So now, when it comes to this particular throws keyword, it can propagate only the compile time errors, means checks, means whatever the exceptions which it is having it is. So throws keyword will use that particular checked exceptions only. So now where in the throw it can use unchecked exceptions, in throws it can use only checked exceptions. See, now there is a reason behind this particular throws. I don't want to go into the details of this one, because it definitely, I know that already this particular topic is here and there, it is hampering you and it is confusing you. But still, as it is really important for the interview, I'm saying it, or else I might be skipped this particular part. But at least you should know these particular basic differences and basic usage of this one. So now, see, now in an interview, what the people will do is they will write this particular statement, they will give you this particular statement, and they will ask you, and wantedly what they will try to do is they will add this, and when they are calling this particular method, what they will try to do is, for an example, this write to file, right? Now write to file, this method, wantedly they will not give the try catch blocks, and then they'll give it to you, and then ask you what is the error in this. So they created the method and they're calling the method in the main method, but this will not execute. Why? Because it is not surrounded by the try catch block, or this is not added with this particular throw exception. So now here it is done both. Will it require both? See, this is how the error messages they will give you in the assessment, and they'll ask you to correct the code. So this is what the debugging of the code, they will ask you to do it. so that you have to be a little bit cautious. That's the reason I'm trying to say on this one. So holistically, what you can remember is propagation of the exceptions means take. So for an example, what do you meant by propagation or propaganda? So there is a rumor. We'll take that rumor and then we'll expel that rumor across the people. So this is called propagation. Means we are making that as a bigger, or we are making something to use it in the future, right? So what type of exceptions it will take from the throw, and what type of exceptions it will take it further for the next generation. See, for an example, now our ancestral property was taken care by our father. He propagated that particular brand name, and then next from your father you taken that particular brand name, and from yours your sons will, or kid, your daughters will be taken care into the next level. So right, so that is how this particular propagation will happen. The same pattern, the exception of the checked exceptions would be taken the propagation with the throws, and unchecked exceptions would be taken care by the throw. So this is how the basic differences. So now here, if you see here, by this you can understand how the throw will be used and how the throws would be used over here. So basic from the syntax level or exception level or the usage level. So the basic things you need to remember. Actually, I should have been listed the pointers here so that it would be easy for you. I missed to do that one, but it would be better. You can just, I think if this session is recording, so it's not recording. So just you can write that particular pointers. Now, whatever the pointers which we have been discussed as part of throw, simple pointers, so you can use it. So now the throw function would be used inside, and only single exception can be used. This can be propagate only this particular checked unchecked exceptions. So these are the bullet pointers you can write for this, and make it very crisp. So because this is for your reference which you're going to create it, right? So for that particular references, make it a crisp way, and then you can write and then you can read on this one. Okay, so this is how you can find it out, the basic differences between a throw and throws. And when it comes to the implementation part, the base level implementation, you should know about it. So because uh, most of the interview questions nowadays, what they're trying to do is not oral, they'll be asking you to implement in this one, so the debugging of this one. So probably at that point of time you should be understanding this one thoroughly. And as these particular pointers, you may not have the right example to do it now, because writing a simple code and then making it pass or fail, you don't understand that. But what I'll try to do is, when we start the test ng, in implementation of the test ng, I'll bring back this code. So in the test ng, clearly you can know that whether the test case is passed or whether the test case is failed. So those particular set of informations will be understanding it. So it would be better there you can use on, we'll discuss a little bit more on this particular exceptions part. Okay, but once again I'm saying it, if you're not practicing these things, definitely you will not understand. At least try catch multiple catches, multiple if, multiple try catches, nested if catches. So those things you can choose, nested try catches. So this you need to use on it. And throw and throws, basic level implementation, at least you should do it and then practice it. Just for the namesake, just you're keeping it, definitely it will not help you out. And majoritarily, I'll remember this pointer to bring these particular examples in the test ng, and then we'll be implementing over there. So I just wanted to not to extend this particular exceptions over here, because already it is discussed, and then on top of this we spent 3 more days on it. So now what I wanted to do it for next is, I wanted to bring the keywords, especially this and this keyword, or super keyword, or other set of keywords we will be having it, final keyword. So these are the things which we are going to discuss further. So what is this super and final, and the differences between the final, finalized, and this one. And anyways, today we have been discussed the differences between throws and throwable. So for throwable, it is a simple difference. So throwable is a super class. So where throwable have 2 subclasses, it is implemented, which is in the exceptions and then errors. And remaining throw and throws we have been discussed today. So tomorrow I'll basically touch with final, because we didn't touch about the final keyword. And finally, anyways, we have been discussed on this particular finally blocked. Finalize, we have been discussed as part of a destructor, but not different, means in detail. So tomorrow I'll start touching up with this particular pointer, and then I'll go for this, and I'll go for super. These are the keywords. So what it mean, or where we need use, or what is the purpose of this one. So these are mostly used in the inheritance concepts. But why we need to know about these particular two topics is majority of the frameworks will be using these keywords. So this particular topic I'll bring it for tomorrow. We talk about these all, and then I think one particular topic it seems to be pending with the crushers. We will see that particular crushers, and then we will jump into the test engine. So these are the things which we'll be taking it for tomorrow.